Howdy and welcome back. Today we're going to introduce singly linked list. We've done a lot of the foundational work for this lesson in the previous one. Essentially what we're going to define as a linked list is going to be a sequence of nodes encapsulated within a class. So we're going to have our pointers, which will serve as the entry point into this sequence, stored as a private data member of a singly linked list class. And then all of the sort of behaviors that we will um, be using to interact with this sequence of nodes will also be encapsulated within the scope of our singly linked list class. So to get into this, we're going to begin by just revisiting this idea of a sequence of nodes residing on the free store with some sort of gateway pointer to get us to the first one, and then more or less how we can follow these next pointers to move from one node in that sequence to the next, finally arriving at the last node in the sequence when we observe a node whose next pointer is the null pointer. We will then introduce a very primitive singly linked list class, which will only have three behaviors. We'll go ahead and define a default constructor. We will then define a pushback behavior. And finally, we'll define the destructor for this. Obviously, there's a lot more behaviors and ways that we can interact with a sequence of nodes. And we'll leave a couple of these for, hopefully for an interactive activity embedded within this lesson. We will close out today's lesson by just reviewing how we can traverse a list and some of the important considerations when interacting with our sequence of nodes. For instance, maybe we're implementing a find operation. How would we traverse that list to find a node with a particular value? We'll talk briefly on this and also provide some of the important things to consider as you're going about this. So let's go ahead and get started.